So Capital Metro's got a program for everyone, so just choose one and go with it. Very few cities in this country own their own electric power production corporation. Austin does. Austin owns Austin Energy, and Austin Energy is a very progressive company compared to others. And by the way, I think our electricity charge is maybe the lowest in the state. So we have with us tonight the program manager for the Austin Climate Protection Program, and that's Jake Stewart. Jake, before he came to Austin, was working for the city of Denton in North Texas. And he was working on a project to produce a biofuel from municipal waste. And to ask if that was successful or not, I'd say it was, because Jake was awarded the Environmental Protection Agency Project of the Year Award. So, Jake, come on and tell us how you did that.
Try to cover quite a bit of ground, and I'm also going to take a little bit of luxury and zoom out to 30,000 foot for a brief period. For better or worse, I'm big picture, and I think a lot of you folks are. So just if I could provide some context that we all know, I think it helps frame these local action in a way that has collective, even more collective meaning. Again, this is not news to anyone in the room, but just a reminder of the converging forces, both in energy supply and with climate change, that make transportation solutions at a local level all the more pressing and important. This is global oil reserves. Again, not a surprising figure. You can see the U.S. down there at 2.2%. This is consumption versus production. The black line is the amount of oil consumed by a given country, and the yellow line is the amount produced. You can see the U.S. is the second from the bottom. Again, not a surprise, but shocking sometimes to see visually, and also leads to arrangements like that. Awkward moments. So, again, said another way, you can see the transportation oil use is moving in an inverse relationship to domestic production. And I like the green line, which points out that even if we were to tap the beautiful Alaskan Anwar Reserve, that is the significance of the bump. To put it in perspective, the trajectory of China that has a middle class that also wants to live like Americans and drive like Americans, and with 50% of the oil imported from the same place we get ours. India, same trajectory at 70% imported. In the U.S., we've had a nice big fat curve for some time now, and that's now up to above 70%. This is a bit cartoonish, but I think a good way to frame the peak issues that we know and realize. Again, not a surprise to anyone in this room, but a reminder of the trajectory of our CO2 emissions converging from the Industrial Revolution and moving quickly up. Why is the transport sector important? Well, because 82% of that comes from CO2, the vast majority of that, a good portion of that is coming from tailpipes. But don't forget the other guys down there. Okay, so oftentimes when you see presentations like this, it can be rather burdensome and depressing. So what I've done here very quickly, and then I'll zoom down to maybe 100 feet regarding the cities program. This is a breakout across the U.S. of renewable energy potential for different types of renewable energy. The yellow, of course, is photovoltaic and solar potential. The bars that you can barely see there on the left, the big bar is an 80% reduction in CO2, a very lofty goal. Some would say unachievable. The one next to it is a 60% reduction in CO2. What I'm using is DOE data on energy potential for a given area. So you see the bar in the bottom left is photovoltaics, which represents about 125 metric tons of carbon reduction per year. If you add in concentrated solar, you're stacking up with another 120. These are conservative numbers, by the way. Add in wind, which is about 300 million metric tons of carbon reduction potential. Also take note of the breadth that these resources come across the U.S. and envision the economic impact of those renewable resources. Add in biofuels and biomass. Again, a small component together, but important, particularly for the transport sector. Geothermal, that's gone up with advanced geothermal, that potential. Add in efficiency and transportation efficiency and industrial efficiency, some of the most important components, and you've exceeded your 80% reduction goal. This requires a lot of effort and willpower, but is entirely doable with the resources we have in the U.S. So visually, it's helpful for me dealing with climate change every day to know that there are solutions and that we can get there with the right pieces. So how do we bring this into a local level? Some of these massive concepts and massive problems, how do we create solutions at a local level? You've heard a lot of them today. This is the project that was mentioned in Denton. I just want to mention it briefly because it represents a city really becoming its own renewable oil well. This was a